Hi there, and welcome back to Next Gen Lens, the video series offering valuable insights about the next generation of consumers, powered by Next Gen Voices. My name is Lauren, and today I'm here with Allison, and we are both qualitative researchers on our Next Gen leadership team.
And today, we're getting into a topic that isn't just top of mind for Gen Z. It's at the very center of how they think, feel, and live: mental health.
And when we asked Gen Z about some of their biggest priorities, mental health didn't just come up. It took center stage. It's not just a trend or a checkbox for brands. It's deeply personal and shapes how this generation connects with themselves and with the world.
And the numbers alone really bring that home. In our study with over 1,000 Gen Zers, we found that 85% said that mental health is extremely important, and 77% reported that mental health significantly impacts their daily lives.
And with May being Mental Health Awareness Month, we thought there'd be no better time to explore how Gen Z is reshaping these conversations on mental wellness. And our research, too, we found some really surprising insights, and we're excited to share some of those with you today. Let's get into it.
So what sets Gen Z apart isn't just how they talk about mental health, it's how they actively prioritize it. While previous generations often viewed mental health as mental illness or something to address only when problems arise, Gen Z sees it differently. For them, it's all about mental wellness, and it's truly integrated into their daily lives and requires continuous support and attention, just like our physical health.
Yeah. And this is where it gets really interesting and a little complicated, honestly, is that despite how open and vocal Gen Z is on the surface, this comes with a big asterisk. And it's something that we call the do as I say, not as I do phenomenon, that while they're loud advocates in public, when it comes to sharing about their own personal struggles, if that happens, and that's a big if, it's often behind the safety of anonymous posts or even private accounts.
Yeah, and to give an example of that, on TikTok, hashtag mental health has over 45 billion views.
Yeah.
And wellness trends really thrive on Instagram. Yet, what our research revealed is a case of public support and private struggles. Often the same person who is publicly advocating for mental health awareness is simultaneously using anonymous accounts to seek support for their own personal challenges.
Yeah, it's this classic case of advocacy without vulnerability. And when we dug a little bit deeper into why Gen Z hesitates to share about their own mental wellness, we discovered a really surprising insight. And that's that many of those traditional stigmas that affected previous generations are actually still persistent today.
Yeah, we heard this consistently in our research. Gen Z truly wants to be taken seriously, yet they often express that when they either have or they do talk about mental health, they're extremely fearful of being dismissed or even having their struggles minimized.
Yeah, for sure. And we heard that there's a gender layer to this as well. I know I vividly remember during one of our workshops, we were speaking with one male Gen Zer, and he said, if a guy sheds a tear, he is perceived as less of a man. I mean, really take a moment to let that sink in. That must have been really difficult for him to share, and I know for us, it was really hard for us to hear, but just how much gender expectations still heavily influence and put undue pressure on men.
Sure, and we heard very similar things around cultural expectations. Many of the Gen Zers who we spoke to come from Latin American households, and they describe just how strong the pressures are for them to keep their struggles and their challenges private.
Yeah, for sure.
We even had one participant who mentioned masking, and this is a term used to talk about someone who hides any sign of mental health struggles just to maintain or keep up with appearances.
Yeah. And it shows that while Gen Z is making progress, they haven't quite cracked the code when it comes to mental health. And what we're seeing is a generation that's caught between the desire to normalize mental health conversations and the reality of these persistent stigmas.
So you're probably wondering, what can brands do to authentically support Gen Z in their mental health journey? Lauren, do you want to take this one?
Yeah, absolutely. So here's the thing. In our research, we discovered that there's actually no single brand, whether that's in healthcare or elsewhere, that's really nailing it or understanding the assignment when it comes to the mental health space right now. And this presents a huge opportunity for brands to really step up and make a real impact.
Yeah, absolutely. But we have seen some brands start to head in the right direction. So I want to take YouTube TV, for example. They have introduced something called Moment of Zen. Now, many of you have probably seen these moments of Zen when you're watching YouTube TV.
I definitely have, and I am a huge fan.
But for those who are unfamiliar or maybe haven't seen them, these are short, peaceful nature clips that are designed to help viewers just take a break from the constant stream of ads. Now, I know it's a small gesture, sure, but it really does help people to reset. So let's take a moment of Zen for ourselves and check one out.
All right, well, we hope that you enjoyed your moment of Zen, but getting back into it, I think we can also say that even emerging brands like the Happiness Project are making meaningful strides when it comes to mental health advocacy. And for those who might not be familiar with the Happiness Project, it is an initiative where they create stylish apparel like sweatshirts or t-shirts that feature uplifting messages. And these items are really helping to spark mental health conversations, spread positivity, and they even help to support those who have been affected by mental health struggles. And as we were looking into it, the story behind the initiative is really impactful, so we definitely encourage you to go check it out.
Yeah, it really is. But if we take a step back and we look at things from a more general perspective, and we consider the Gen Z angst that comes with finances, I know I felt it, just imagine all of the opportunity that there is for brands to support them in their efforts to save money, to invest money, but even to just help them handle the stress of it all more effectively.
Yeah, and that's a good point too, because in our research, we asked Gen Z for their top mental health stressors, and we discovered that finances were at the top of that list, with social media and work following closely behind it. All right, so let's wrap up with some key takeaways for brands. First, it's important to recognize that Gen Z sees mental health as a core part of their overall well-being, and also that this generation has brought mental health into the spotlight like never before.
Yeah, absolutely. But they still are facing some major stigmas. Despite their advocacy, most still shield their own personal struggles, which reveals that we are still facing persistent stigmas, both overall and across gender and cultural lines.
Yeah. And lastly, while there are some brands entering into the mental health space, there's still untapped potential for brands to develop resources that specifically address mental health challenges that are unique to this generation.
It's linked below, but be sure to check out our infographic, which captures more of what we uncovered about the Gen Z state of mind. It includes details around Gen Z coping strategies, as well as their go-to resources when it comes to mental health. All right, so that's all we have for you guys today. If you're interested in digging deeper into understanding Gen Z or understanding how you can strengthen your brand connections, feel free to reach out.
And don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay updated on all the latest insights. Also, stay tuned for our next episode, Throwback Thursday, which we will be taking a look back at the last 5 years of Gen Z research and sharing some of our most surprising aha moments along the way.